if people are asking, okay, well, how do you do that? How do you leave the door, this metaphorical door open to allow something new in? Like, how do you even go about doing that?
Okay, so two things I think just came up. The first one, which was I realized that I put the door up in the first place, which means that I can then take it down. So I think we have to realize that we were the creator of the thing in the first, you kind of like the door or whatever it is, if it's a mind thing. But then also I think even if it is like a practical thing that we feel is external to us, like how much are we still creating that? How much of that being there, this situation, this relationship, this behavior, how much am I actually and do I play in that? I think we have to realize how we create something to then know that we can be the ones to take it down. So I watch myself literally create the doors in my head, and then I just push them. I just push them like that, and they might spring back up again. I can just gently push them back again, and then I can see them down, and my mind is, I can actually see visually in my mind, like it's open, and my heart opens as well. And I think it's, for me, how it's getting creative. The other thing I think I would say is creating the distance. When you realize, when you acknowledge and notice what's going on in your mind, because you're the receiver, you're the one listening to it, that's you. You aren't the speaker of the things in your mind. You're actually the one that's listening to it. So you're reacting to it. You're being hurt or enjoying, or that actually, again, I think it helps me to go, okay, so it isn't here. It isn't actually here. It's just, it is creating a distance between me and it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually have a sense of self away from these things, and that they can be there, and I'm still safe. I'm still okay. And if that thing's over there, then I've got all of this space. I can now create something else. I can create a new relationship, or I can create, another path for my relationship with this thing, this person, this environment, this situation. And if seems favorable, then this one doesn't need to, and I can keep it all at arm's length. Even the new stuff, I can keep it all at arm's length. What about yourself?
I think what comes to mind is like seeing and understanding like what those doors actually are. And I feel like what you were saying, that noticing that we've innocently kind of created them. Like for me, those doors and walls were the very solid looking beliefs and rules I had about myself, about food, about the whole world around me. And they look so real. They look so solid. And so I think maybe part of it for me was even just becoming aware that there is something else. There's something else on the other side of that. And actually this thing that I've innocently created that looks like my entire world is actually a bit of a fortress. And not necessarily in a good way. Like when we think of fortresses, we think, oh, that's defense. That provides safety, that provides security. But actually it kind of became a bit of a prison. And so I know that there can certainly be a lot of fear around kind of abandoning what looks like our world, these rules, these beliefs, because it feels like they're providing this kind of sense of security and safety. So I think certainly for me, a big part of it is about starting to see the truth in that, or lack of truth in that, and even just kind of starting to play with the idea of, okay, well, what might be on the other side of this? Like, what else might be on offer? What if actually this has become more of a prison than a kind of a sanctuary? And yeah, what else how can my experience be different? And what impact might that have? And I think it's just start these kind of curious questions like we've been saying, rather than kind of going in and saying, I'm going to smash down all of these things that have felt safe for years and years, because like that's scary.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like
And they
kind
fight back, don't
yeah,
they?
Yeah, exactly. Because we've believed for so long that they provide that safety, we're going to have a very kind of a knee-jerk response to that, which is, no, of course I need this, and we're going to probably grab on even tighter, or if we feel like someone's trying to take that away from us.
Yeah.
So it's all of those kind of what if questions, like, yeah, what if actually this thing that we're clinging on to isn't providing that safety at all? What if actually there's safety or security? I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of those kind of words, but in the freedom that comes with allowing ourselves to open that door and see what else comes in, or even allowing ourselves to walk out. Like, we don't have to smash anything down if we don't want to, but it's like we're allowed to let go of things, we're allowed to walk away from them and actually see what else is on offer. And I think that sense of choice is really empowering. It can feel scary because, like with the eating disorder, like, we've been dictated to for so long, right?
Yeah.
So actually, when we feel like we have some of that say back, we can kind of, I don't want to say control, but when we have that choice back, it's, yeah, it can feel a bit overwhelming, but actually, like, how beautiful, how amazing that actually we can have a say over what we do, how we are, where we go, all of that. And that for me is the relaxing. It's when my shoulders drop about 3 feet. It's the kind of the green fields I see outside of that fortress, which is so, it's like grey and dark and a bit leaky, and it's all stone, and it's like, yeah, but this is safe. And it's just not. Right.
I think that was just brilliant, because when you were talking about the fortress, it was like just grey and then this bursting of green on the other side, and there's like the scrambling up to kind of go, what's there, what's on the other side, and noticing it and going, I'm going, like, that's it, that's I want to play over there.
When we're kind of talking about like this fortress and this green pastures and stuff like that, like, so often we talk about recovery as this place that we need to get to, whereas actually if we're going to kind of continue with those sort of metaphors, it's like we're already in the green pastures, but we've just built this little fortress around us. Like, we're there, we're already there. It's not over there, like, it is here.
It's here.
And it's how it feels for me, and what my experience of recovery was like. It was like allowing those bricks to fall out of the wall, and actually realize where I was. It wasn't this kind of quest that I had to go on to find this place of true recovery, full recovery. It was it's the subtractive process. And I say allowing very deliberately, because that's what it was. It wasn't pulling the bricks out of the wall and smashing them on the ground. It was seeing that they weren't doing the job that I thought they were doing. All these beliefs, all these rules that I thought were keeping me safe and protected and in control, that actually when I started to see that that just was not true, then they kind of just started falling out on their own.
Yeah.